So, good morning, Nelson.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. It's a nice,
Enjoying?
beautiful day here.
Yeah, again,
Not too cold.
a beautiful morning. So, on Saturday we had a very nice hike to this mountain. So I just wanted to have a conversation with you about your life. So let's start with my first question. Could you please tell us your full name and where you were born?
My full name is Nelson Lee Max, but I usually don't use the Lee. So usually I just say my name is Nelson Max.
Okay.
And I was born in Baltimore, Maryland, United States of America. And Baltimore is near our country's capital, Washington,
Wow.
D.C.
What was your childhood like?
It was a happy childhood. I was the oldest. I had a brother and a sister, and we did not live downtown. We lived in an area where there were separate houses, so we had a backyard, and I had fun playing with my next door neighbor, and I liked my school. So I had a very happy childhood. I liked taking trips with my family for vacations. And that's why I try to travel with my children now and make family vacation trips.
Great. So, do you remember your school name?
My first school was number 221, from grade kindergarten to 6th grade.
Okay.
And then different middle schools because a new one was being built. And then my high school was Baltimore Polytechnic Institute. It was a technical high school.
Great, great. And then college?
College was Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore. I could take the same bus to that campus as I used to take the high school, but sometimes my father would drive me there on his way to work.
Great. And then you went to Harvard University?
Harvard University for PhD.
What was the title of your thesis in PhD?
It was homeomorphisms of S1 cross Sn.
So it's about mathematics.
Mathematics, topology.
Great. That is so good. So, tell me about something about your teaching career. When you started it and your experiences in USA and here in Kyrgyzstan, ultimately.
Well, I've taught many places. The first place I taught was even before my PhD was official. I was starting to as a lecturer at University of California, Berkeley. But that was only for a year and a half. It wasn't a permanent position. And then it was the University of Georgia as a postdoc for 1 year and then as a teacher for another year. And then I applied for a government grant to make educational films about topology. And I got this grant and I started doing computer animated filmmaking with that grant for a year. And I was also teaching at Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh. I was making the films in Boston area, and after 3 years at Carnegie Mellon, I was teaching for a year or two, I think 2 years, at Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland. But I wasn't that excited about what I was teaching, and 1 year I did not do a very good job, and the department chairman said, you should look for another job, maybe in industry instead of teaching. So I went for some job interviews, and I ended up getting a job at Lawrence Livermore Laboratory in California. And it was actually run by the University of California. And when I went for my job interview, I showed some of my computer animated films about topology. And they said, oh, you should teach. We have a branch of University of California, Davis.
Wow.
That is at Livermore Laboratory. So while I was at Livermore Laboratory from 1977 to 2007, I was teaching at the University of California, Davis, remotely.
Wow.
And then eventually, I think in 1990, it increased to 50% of University of California, Davis, and Lawrence Livermore Laboratory. My salary was half and half.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was some problem with the security at the laboratory and also at Los Alamos National Laboratory. They were both run by the University of California for the United States government, and they had to change the contract, so it was no longer managed by the University of California.
Okay.
And so my boss at Livermore Lab told me, now you will really have two bosses. One from the university will expect you to do teaching and research, and another one at the laboratory who will expect you to get money for your research and make money for this new organization that's managing the laboratory. And it will be hard because each will want more of your time. So you should pick one. So I picked the University of California, and I was lucky they were willing to take me for 100% time. And then so in 2007, I started being 100% professor at University of California, Davis, and I retired in 2019, just as COVID was starting.
Okay.
So I only taught for 1 quarter. That means 10 weeks plus 1 exam week remotely by Zoom during COVID, and then I retired.
Okay, great. Yesterday I was looking at your profile, your research profile, and I saw there are more than 180 research articles.
Right.
Yeah, so that is quite impressive.
Not only me, some were with co-authors.
Yeah, collaboratively or whatever it is, but it's a huge contribution.
And some of them were double, because first they would be in a conference and then they would be published in a journal. So I listed them twice. So
Great.
it's more like, I think, 144 that are actually separate ones that aren't, republished from a conference into a journal.
Okay. So what do you see? Is there any difference teaching in USA and teaching in Kyrgyzstan?
Not so much difference, because we had good students in USA and I have good students here. I had students who cheated in the USA. I have students who cheat here. So it's very, very similar.
Similar, everywhere.
The classes are smaller here.
Yeah.
Sometimes I was teaching small advanced classes, but sometimes I was teaching hundreds of students at once at the University of California.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest class here that that anyone can teach is 25 students, because that's the most that have ever been in one major. Usually it's around 20. So it's much smaller classes. But I still don't learn everybody's name, because the
that is
names
hard.
are hard
Even
to
for
remember.
me, it is hard to remember their names, And we were looking at an article right now. It is published in a New York Times.
New York
Times about Harvard University. The same problems we are facing here is there as well. So there is much difference between these academic settings, I think.
Right. Well, these are the best universities in the country, so they'll get the best students, but the best students can still sometimes be lazy.
Yeah, that is true. Okay, so now let's come towards travel motivation and your experiences. What inspired you to travel to Kyrgyzstan at first point?
Well, actually, I had gotten a Fulbright in 1978 to teach in India. And I was near Bhutan, and foreigners weren't allowed in Bhutan at the time, because I was in eastern India, Guwahati, Assam, which is on the Brahmaputra River. And Bhutan was always fascinating because I couldn't go there. So later in life, when I decided I wanted to travel again, I tried to get another Fulbright to Bhutan. And they told me that I was an alternate the first year. So if somebody who got the Fulbright in Bhutan didn't come, then I would be considered. And the next year I applied, I was not even listed as an alternate. And before I applied the third time, I talked to the people in the Fulbright office, and they said Bhutan is very competitive. We only have one Fulbright scholar position in Bhutan. But this was the office in charge of South Central Asia, and that also included Kyrgyzstan. And the person I talked to in the office about what strategy I should use said you should apply to Kyrgyzstan because they have 4 positions instead of 1 each year, and because they accept retired people, because by then I was retired.
Okay.
And so I applied to Kyrgyzstan, and it's good to have a letter of invitation from a specific university, although they do not guarantee to send you there. So I looked online at all the universities in Kyrgyzstan to try and find which one I should ask to invite me. And I saw this video by Neil Gallagher, who used to teach here. And it was in English, and he was talking about his experiences teaching here as part of on the web page that they had from this university. So I figured out how I could locate him in the United States and called him up and talked to him for a while, and he said, yes, you should apply. And he told me maybe who to ask for the letter of invitation. And so Ayman and Maxime wrote this letter of invitation. It arrived just at the last minute. And again, I was only an alternate. I was not selected. But alternate means if somebody says no, who's already been offered the position, they might offer it to an alternate, and they did. In that case, they offered it to the alternate, and I could come here for a year. And then I've been coming back ever since for the fall semester.
Great, that is really impressive. Since, as you already mentioned, Kyrgyzstan is not very well known to many people because it doesn't have any English literature or English videos online or marketing material, whatever you call it. So what would you say to travelers who are thinking about coming here?
Well, I would say it's a beautiful area. It's a peaceful area. There's nice mountains. It's easy to walk on the mountains because even though there are no official hiking trails, there are many cow and horse trails. Most of the mountains here are part of the pasture land that they use for the summer grazing. And if you like a rural area, but it's still got conveniences of department stores and theaters and, I think Naren is an exciting place, but it's a change from the big city. So for me, I enjoy it. I don't feel any need to go back to Bishkek, but many of the professors want to go to Bishkek for the weekend because they're already tired of the small town.
You love mountains.
Yeah, I love mountains.
And there are many other good, beautiful places in Kyrgyzstan like Alascha, Osh, Isikul. So how many areas have you been so far?
Well, I've been to Isikul, and also I've been to the Alai Valley hiking. Before I came here, I went with some friends for a guided tour of the Alai Valley near Saremogul. And I've also been, this year, before I came to campus, I went to Kelsul and Songkul Lakes, and I've been to Osh. I've been to Karak. What is the town besides, not Bishkek, the one that's near Lake Isikul, where they do skiing?
It's Tokmok?
No, it's one of the big cities. It's a Russian.
It's Isikul and Karakol.
Karakol,
Karakol is the
town.
The biggest ski resort
that's
is in Karakol. That is
so,
a beautiful place.
Yeah, so we went there with the other professors.
Great. So, again, I will rephrase this question. How did you first get into hiking in your life, and what has kept you passionate about it over the years?
I really got into hiking, first of all, when I was in graduate school at Harvard. There was a Harvard outing club that used to do hiking.
Okay.
And then when I got to Carnegie Mellon University, there was a Pittsburgh Explorers Club. And
Okay.
they were interested in organizing mountaineering expeditions.
Great.
So I went on trips. Well, they were also doing other things like going underground caves and
Okay.
but they organized some trips to mountains in Peru, Huascaran, and then
So it started from college.
started from college, and
Yeah.
then from a club I joined in Pittsburgh that used to like to organize international expeditions.
Wow. So any memorable hike you still remember?
Well, the highest mountain I climbed was with that club, and it's called Amadablam, and it's on the way to Everest Base Camp. So probably in 1971, I took a guided tour to the Everest Base Camp, and we passed under that very beautiful mountain.
Wow.
And I thought I would never have a chance to climb it. In fact, no foreigners were allowed to climb it because they believed a goddess lived in that mountain. But then the Explorers Club of Pittsburgh made a plan for an expedition. And I joined that expedition, and I got to the top of that mountain, which is 6,500 meters.
Yeah.
So that's the highest I've ever been.
Great.
And I thought that was very exciting to finally climb this mountain that I had admired from walking beneath it.
Yeah, and you were mentioning during our hike to this mountain day before yesterday that you also went to Gilgit-Baltistan.
Right, we tried to climb Nanga
to climb the
Parbat.
Nanga Parbat, the
Yeah.
killer mountain.
Right, I didn't know when the Pittsburgh Explorers Club was organizing this trip that it was a killer mountain. This was in 1977.
Wow, that is impressive. You know, I never knew it, so I just.
But in fact, it did kill 2 of our members.
So how many of you were there at that time?
Oh, probably 8 or 9.
8 members team.
Yeah.
So you went till the.
We went, I think, maybe to 19,000 feet. I don't know how many meters that is, but it's probably like maybe 6,000 meters. But the mountain is, I think,
So
7,000. So
do you
we
have
had a lot
some-
more to do.
Do you have some nice memories of that trip going from USA to Islamabad, and then most probably you have been flying to
To Gilgit.
Gilgit?
Right, and then we got porters to carry our equipment, food and tents, and even some oxygen and climbing equipment, some sleds and a pulley system, ice axes, and a lot of food for. And we also had a local guide who was with us at the base camp. He didn't climb the mountain, but he helped organize the porters. And we had to buy shoes for the porters, and it was like 3 or 4 days hike, maybe more, through these mountain valleys, mostly rocky, not as grassy
Yeah,
like here.
yeah, it's rocky there.
And at one point we were near a village, and they knew that we had a doctor. My friend Bob Huffman was the trip doctor.
Okay.
And somebody had very serious illness.
Wow.
And so he went to treat them and figured out what medicine to give them. And then we went on to the mountain, and on the way back, when we passed that village, they were so grateful because the person survived the very serious illness.
Yeah, that is scary. So, do you remember the person who was died there? Your companion. What was his name?
George Bogle. Actually, 2 people died. One was George Bogle, and another man, I can't remember his name, was with us. And my friend Bob Huffman, the doctor, who I asked by email, he couldn't remember the name either.
Okay. So did they fell down from the mountain, or
No,
what
it was an
happened?
avalanche.
Avalanche. Oh, avalanche hit them.
Yeah, and killed them.
And you were away from.
Yeah,
that
we were
side.
a little bit above the avalanche area. But it was rock avalanches or snow, I don't remember, but there were rocks falling all the time because it was summer and the ice was melting, and then the rocks that the ice had expanded and separated would fall down. And one of them hit me on my helmet. Everybody was wearing a helmet to protect.
Okay.
And it made a big hole in the helmet. So it might have killed me if I hadn't been wearing a helmet. Another rock hit a friend of mine, Eric Wilhelm, and broke his arm. And so my friend Bob Huffman had to set his arm back as best as he could with no x-rays, just by feeling with his fingers. And he had no anesthetic, so that he just gave Eric a bunch of alcohol so he would be drunk and maybe not feel it too much when he was adjusting the bone, but I'm sure it was very painful.
So difficult situation. I can imagine, 70s there were no medical facilities, nothing in Gilgit-Baltistan.
But
It was
anyway,
so-
this was the mountain. Even if there were hospitals,
Yeah.
this was 5 days walk from the nearest
Yeah, that is
road.
also true. That is also
So
true.
he
It's
had to
far
bring
away.
all his medical equipment.
And there were no airlifting service at that time, I think. I don't know.
No.
Yeah. Now we have an airlifting service.
Right,
Pakistan
when
Army
there
does
was an
that.
accident with our guide on Mount McKinley, we call it Denali now, in Alaska, the tallest mountain in Alaska. I had to walk down. I had frostbitten toes, but this was after our guide fell in a crevasse and died. We could call a helicopter to come take us out because of my frostbitten toes. That was very lucky because it was a long walk out without the guide.
Wow. So, what is it about hiking in Kyrgyzstan right now?
Well, I just like it because every weekend, until it gets cold, maybe this weekend it will be too cold anyway. I plan to go away this weekend because it's the beginning of the week-long break. But it's just, beautiful weather, beautiful country, plenty of small, safe mountains that I can climb by myself if no
Yeah.
one wants to come
But
with me.
I posted a short video of our hike yesterday on my Facebook, and you remember it took 11 hours for
Yeah,
us
up and down,
to
yeah.
go up and come back.
Yeah.
So it's a long time. So some of my viewers were asking how do you do how you keep your fitness.
Well, I keep taking hikes like this, or where I bought my house, there is a beautiful park. It's like 2 or 3 minute walk from my house. And I made the offer on the house because I explored that park before I decided to buy that house. And it was beautiful, and I can go jogging, which means slow kind of running,
Okay.
uphill.
Okay.
So I can, in that park, once a week for maybe 2 hours. And so I also work on the trails in that park, trying to keep them clear. If I have to cut the way the water can go off the trail so that it won't make a big river in the middle of the trail, or cut the tree branches that are growing next to the trail, or the weeds that are growing in the trail. So I do trail maintenance, not only on that trail in that park, but other trails nearby with a group called the Trail Dogs.
You do it daily? Or
Not daily, but once a week usually. Trail
and
maintenance
then
once a week.
that
hiking.
keeps you fit and
Yeah.
strong. So,
I guess,
yeah,
but
understandable. Yeah, that is. So again, if I, one question I forgot to ask you. Do you have any plans to go back to Gilgit-Baltistan now?
I don't know. I've been talking to you, and I've been talking to Azamat, who lives in Hunza, and they say it's a place I should visit. So maybe if I keep coming to this area, I will get to visit all the neighboring countries, including Gilgit-Baltistan again.
Yeah, and we have a good number of Fulbright scholars in Karakorum International University in Gilgit-Baltistan. So you may establish your connections with them. So
Yeah, well, you have to
you-
tell me more about the university and
Yeah.
whether it will be interested in the computer graphics and computer animation that I could teach. But-
Yeah, so my friends in Gilgit-Baltistan, they may.
okay, well, maybe if I don't get a Fulbright here next year, I'll apply for a Fulbright there.
Okay, yeah, we would love to see you there, climbing mountains again.
Well,
Gilgit-Baltistan-
also, I could come for a week in mid-semester break. Maybe they don't have a break. I could at least give a lecture there.
We will try to connect you with some people.
Okay, so if I come here next fall or next spring, maybe in the break, I can go to the area and give some lectures and give it.
Okay. If I don't know what I wanted to ask you. Yeah. How do you think that travel to developing countries, especially countries like Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, and Nepal, you have been here, I think, so can change a man's perspective?
Well, certainly, like when Nepal, when I first went there, is not very developed at all, but it's a traditional society, and they have their own religion, they have their own very interesting temple architectures.
Yeah.
There are a lot of interesting tourist sites, and after I was there in Nepal for 3 weeks, I got used to that.
Okay.
You know, third world, we call it, kind of country. And then when I came back to the United States, it was a little bit difficult at first to get used to. It felt very different to be back in the United States. It was so different.
It's an organized life, you know.
Yeah. So it's very interesting and educational, I think, to be in a mountainous country that doesn't have so much communication with the rest of the world, that you can only get to areas by walking instead of by flying an airplane or driving on a road or even a bicycle.
Yeah.
Because it's
now hiking.
Only by hiking, so it has a special feel.
So have you met some interesting people here in Kyrgyzstan?
Yeah, but
sometimes
only
surprises
those who
you
can,
or shocks you or something like that?
Yeah, when I was doing the talking club in the library in Kyrgyzstan, which I didn't do this year because they never answered my emails about arranging the time.
Okay.
I met some interesting people. I met somebody who actually I should look up again, Neil. I should tell him I'm back. Tamerlan, who is interested in game development and computer graphics and was very excited to meet somebody who had doing that kind of work, and I had worked at Pixar on a sabbatical. He was so excited to hear that I'd worked at Pixar. I tried to get him a summer job there, but they said it's only for people who already have visas to the United States. They couldn't, they didn't want to do the paperwork of getting a visa for somebody to work as an intern. But I met many interesting people in that talking club, but my selection of people that I can actually get to know was only for people who speak English.
Okay, yeah.
So
that
means that my chance to meet really local people is limited.
Yeah, due to the language barrier.
Yes.
Yeah. So, do you plan to continue your hiking in the future?
Well, my health permitting.
What is your next objective? Where you want to go if you hike again?
Well, I don't have a strong next objective. When I went with you on Saturday, there was another peak that was maybe 20 minutes away, maybe 10 meters higher. That was the official one, or the one up there that we were on the peak on the right there.
Yeah.
And the middle one actually looks the same height, or even not quite as high, but it maybe has a bigger, wider view of the campus because it's right in the V notch there looking down.
Yeah.
So that can be another ambition. The mountain behind us, I've already been to the top, but that's a much easier trip.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, I was planning to go hiking when Mirza came, but I haven't met him. Did he come to campus? He said he was going to come in
he
October.
came here. Yeah, we also had a short discussion about that, but then he came here, he was too busy, and then he went back to Bishkek.
Right, and because my office wasn't next to his anymore, I never even met him when he was here. He didn't try to contact me because he was too busy.
Yeah, he's a nice friend, you know.
That's the one I climbed that mountain with, Mirza.
Okay.
So,
Dr. Maxim was also going for
Yeah,
5
yeah.
days hiking here.
But
you know?
only after. So he's retired now. Is that he? Because we have a
I
new
don't
dean.
know. I don't know. Maybe he's working somewhere else. But
Maybe, but I missed the chance to go hiking with him because I always wanted to go back to. They would wait till after the final graduation to do that hike with Maxime, and I was always back in the United States by then.
okay. So, do you remember any funny, unexpected story during these travels?
I don't know. A lot of lucky things happened. Well, it was lucky that I could get the Fulbright to come here in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised how easy it is to get a ride. Like when we come down from the mountain, we end up far from campus, and you can just put your hand out on the road, and the first or second car that passes will stop for you and take you back. So
That
it's
is the
very-
beauty of Kyrgyzstan.
yeah.
You know, the people are very kind, very nice,
Right, so
receptive,
I
and
appreciate
welcoming.
that.
So yeah, I also love that. You know, wherever I go in Kyrgyzstan, I don't look for any guide or nothing. I just pack my bag. I go on mountains, into pastures. Wherever I go, I found people very welcoming and hospitable.
Except to remember when we were coming down from the mountain, there was
Yeah.
this one man who was not very
Yeah,
hospitable.
exceptions happen. You know that I don't count them because it
Yeah.
happens once a while.
Right,
Yeah.
but I was
But
talking
normally-
in the English speaking session that I had with the staff here right before we met.
Mhm.
I was talking to Vakhov John about my plan to hitchhike to Kashgar, and
Okay.
he said, in China, they're very strict about the truck drivers, and nobody will pick you up in China. So you can get to the
Oh.
border, and you won't succeed in getting to Kashgar. So he said I should buy a bus ticket, and he's now trying to arrange for a bus company, because I had asked actually Tamerlan, who replaced him as transportation coordinator, but Tamerlan didn't know as much information and couldn't
Yeah.
tell me whether there was a bus. But
Yeah.
Vakhov John said there's a bus that goes from Bishkek to Kashgar,
Okay.
and will stop in Naran. So maybe I'll get a ticket and go by bus instead of trying to go by
Good luck
hitchhiking.
for that. Yeah, that's a good trip. It should be a good trip. You know,
Yeah,
I have never been there. Maybe in future.
I've been to Xinjiang before, actually with my wife.
Okay.
I think it was just when we got married, before my son was born.
Mm-hmm.
I was in an institute in China for a month, and we spent a week in Xinjiang. We went to Urumqi and Turfan.
Okay.
So I've been to Xinjiang before, but not to Kashgar. Kashgar is even farther west.
Yeah, it's further west, and when you are in Kashgar, you are very near to my hometown, Gilgit-Baltistan. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
so you can get there as well. So, anything else I may have missed to ask you? You want to share?
Nothing. I'm just very thankful that I've kept my health this late in life, and I can keep doing exciting things, and that I have, just by doing what's interesting to me, I can actually get paid for my jobs.
Great, great. So thank you so much for taking time out for this nice conversation. I'm really happy to be with you here and talking to you. It was pleasure to hike with you. So thank you so much.
Okay, well, I'm very happy that last weekend we finally got to hike together, because I've been hoping to climb that mountain with you for many years.
Yeah, we planned many times and many times it was cancelled, and finally we did it. So most probably we will do it again if time allows.
Okay,
So thank you so much.
okay, well, thank you for the interview.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you.